Tomorrow, the 90-minute premiere of T.J. Hooker.
I like doing my job.
But being a cop is a tough job.
Hold it right there!
Fighting for the system, law and order.
I've seen the past, and it works.
William Shatner is T.J. Hooker. Then at a special time, 90 minutes of love.
Double whammy.
Hearts are beating faster on the Love Boats.
I know deep down inside that our chemistry was the same.
Tomorrow.
Starting at 8, 7 Central and Mountain on ABC.
On All My Children.
In less than 2 weeks, I'm going to be Mrs. Rick Kincaid. Oh, Rick.
And On the Edge of Night.
How do we prove your right to the Whitney estate?
I am not the fake. He was. And that's why I want to meet this woman who claims to be his widow.
All My Children, The Edge of Night. Weekdays.
Let's go. Wait. What? Can't you hear it? It's coming from in there. What? Let's go.
Lisa, the kids we sponsor just won the downhill.
Terrific. Let's have some coffee.
Whoa.
Only half a cup? I thought you liked my coffee.
I love the rich taste. It's the caffeine I can do without.
Me too. That's why we're drinking Brim decaffeinated coffee.
This is Brim.
This is Brim, freeze-dried, and it's decaffeinated. So you don't have to stop at half a cup.
If it tastes this rich, I don't want to stop. Fill it to the rim.
With Brim?
Fill your cup to the rim with the richness of Brim.
We're here, sis, and if I got the perfect side dish for your chicken, stovetop stuffing. Stuffing? But Herb and the kids love potatoes. Suit yourself, but bet they'll go for the stovetop.
Great stuffing. Sure beats potatoes.
Yummy! You're not putting a dent in my potatoes. You were right. We better make more stovetop. Seconds on stuffing?
Seconds. I'm ready for thirds.
Instead of potatoes, serve stovetop stuffing and watch it disappear.
We made our Heinz ketchup strainer test even tougher. We've lined the 3 strainers with a popular coffee filter. Think that would keep the competition from running?
It should.
Nope. Same results. Heinz thicker ketchup still wins.
Seeing is believing.
But here's where the thickness pays off.
Seeing is believing, but tasting is proof. Heinz is the best tasting ketchup.
Heinz, America's thickest, best tasting ketchup.
Would you believe that a laugh a day could keep the doctor away? Well, according to some new research, it can. Laughter, by increasing respiration, brings more needed oxygen to our blood and helps us to nourish our bodies and fight disease, which is important because many serious illnesses deplete our body's oxygen supply. Also, doctors now believe that laughter releases endorphins, the chemical in our bodies which act as a natural painkiller. So if you're ill, do whatever the doctor tells you, of course, and then watch a funny TV show or read a funny book or call a funny friend. Did you hear the one about...
Monday, Mr. Edall perfects the art of gourmet dining with a bike. And meet an abandoned dog with the heart of a hero. Then...
Who are you?
You wouldn't believe me if I told you.
Clint Eastwood is Dirty Harry in The Enforcer. Parental discretion is advised.
Galaxy of Sharpshooters, tonight at 8 on Channel 48.
And then there's the horse show in Worthington. I wasn't sure about that, so I just penciled it in.
We'll cancel it.
And the appointment with your lawyer? He was very insistent when he called this afternoon, so I made it for Thursday.
Why don't you postpone it and make it for sometime next week?
The Riverton Women's Club.
Tell them I'm still in mourning.
Oh, how do you feel about meeting with Mr. Kershaw of Phillips Industries?
Oh, I feel very strongly about it. No.
Raven, why in the world are you saying no to everything? You have to get out into the world sometime.
I know, but I just don't want all these obligations, at least not just now.
Mm-hmm. It seems to me you're trying to keep your calendar clear for this young man you met in the Caribbean.
No,
Laura, why don't you go give Spencer his driving schedule for tomorrow?
Yes, Mrs. Whitney.
Geraldine, I don't want you to make an issue of this. I told you before I'm going to see Lance as much as I want.
I have no doubt you will.
And I don't want you saying anything more about his being a fortune hunter. You've never met the man already. You're complaining about him.
Raven, I'm not trying to run your life. I just feel it's my duty to urge some caution here. After all, you made similar mistakes in the past, if I may say so. And some of them were buttes.
Well, I also know that your favorite words in the English language are "I told you so," and it's different this time.
Excuse me, Mrs. Whitney. Spencer isn't here.
What?
He left the house. And it must have been very suddenly.
Mrs. Raven Swift, soon to be married to millionaire Schuyler Whitney. Schuyler Whitney kills burglar in Whitney home. Last night it seemed at the Whitney mansion. Mrs. Schuyler Whitney attends husband's funeral. Yesterday afternoon.
What's the matter? Where are you going? You're not in the habit of knocking, I see.
It's hardly important right now, Libby.
What is it, Spencer?
I can't stay. I've got to leave. I've got to get back immediately, but I came to tell you that you cannot meet with Raven Whitney tonight.
I'm not in the habit of taking orders, Spencer. I'm tired of waiting. I want to meet this woman in person. And I want to hear what she has to say for herself.
Before you do, you'd better hear what I have to say first.
The Edge of Night is brought to you by Ivory Liquid. Penny for penny, it washes more dishes than an average bargain brand. And by new Formula Era, a new combination of powerful cleaners concentrated into 1/4 cup.
Chocolate sauce, soaked in. Motor oil, seeped in. Collis oil, ground in. Unless you clean the dirts that go all the way through, your whole wash isn't clean. That's why we invented Era. Era has the power of cleaners for deep down dirt, for soaked in grease, for seeped in oil, for grounding collis oil. Penetrating cleaners concentrated to put more cleaning power on the stain. Watch Era clean all the way through these 3 layers of tough stains. Put a teaspoon of Era only on the top. Its power penetrates. Rub, run under warm water, and look. Era cleaned all the way through. And when you get the tough stains clean, your whole wash is clean. Era cleans all the way through.
I'm 30 years old. So am I.
Now, one of these skiers isn't 30. She's 44-year-old Barbara Gould, mother of 3. Can you tell who's who? Take a good look. Now, look at their hands. Even they don't give us a clue. Her secret, she cares for her hands, and part of that care is mild ivory liquid.
Doing lots of dishes, I wouldn't put my hands into anything but mild ivory liquid. I love those rich suds because they help my hands stay young-looking and get the dishes really clean.
Still can't tell who's who, huh?
Mom, come on. You gave me away. Yes, I'm the 44-year-old. I like my hands to look young, and ivory liquid really helps.
Mild ivory liquid helps your hands stay young-looking.
Yes, Dr. Hilmer. Then the prognosis remains the same? Uh-huh. Well, now, look, we certainly do appreciate all your trouble, all your concern. Yes, certainly, I'll tell her. She's in my office right now, as a matter of fact. Right. All right, thanks again. Goodbye.
What did he say?
Well, your mother is still alive, but her condition is unchanged. Dr. Hilmer saw her this morning. He's done everything he can. There's nothing more to do.
Oh, Miles, I don't know. I mean,
All these years she's been away from me, it's as if she hasn't existed. Now, all of a sudden, I'm faced with this and I don't know how to deal with it.
He told her that he'd seen you in Monticello.
He did?
Yes.
Well, I'm sure he got the same reaction I always did. Utter indifference.
She apparently wasn't too pleased about it.
Doesn't surprise me.
Now, look, I wouldn't take it too seriously. Times when people are ill or depressed, they say things they don't mean.
Come on, Miles, it's the truth. She doesn't want to see me, I know that. I have never meant anything to that woman. I never did as a child, I mean even less now.
Well, people change, Jody. Especially when they know there isn't much time left.
Well,
But anyway, maybe your mother reacted the way she did because she thought you didn't care. Or maybe she was even trying to spare you.
Miles, you are giving her much too much credit.
Well, look, I don't want to force you into doing anything you don't want to do, but if you do want to see her, according to what Dr. Hilmer says, it'll almost certainly be for the last time.
I don't want to go. God, that sounds awful, doesn't it?
No, not considering the circumstances. But if you do decide to go, remember you got our approval, you got our support.
Well, I guess I really don't have a choice. If I don't go, I am going to feel guilty for the rest of my life, despite the past. I have to go see her, whether I want to or not.
Well, at least you won't be going alone, right? Gavin's going to be along, so will Nicole and I.
Oh, no, you have to stay here with your patients.
No, it's all right. I've already arranged for having a few days off. Besides, I got another patient who needs a little care and attention.
Who, my mother?
No, somebody else who's hurting. Her daughter.
What do you mean? You're joining the maskers?
Well, yeah. For one performance only, I'm gonna open and close on the same night.
Yeah? What role are you playing?
I am playing a cop.
Sorry, you're not the type.
Well, I guess I'll just have to fake it then, won't I?
Oh, I get it. They talked you into taking part in that practical joke against Raven.
Yep.
What do you think of this scam, anyway?
Well, to tell you the truth, Gavin, I have never been much for practical jokes in the past, but this time I reluctantly said yes.
An officer of the law, pretending to be a cop? Making false arrests? You're leaving yourself wide open for criticism, Calvin.
Only if somebody finds out. And I hope nobody does.
If it's that risky, why are you doing it?
Well, it might get you guys your theater back, for one thing.
Don't you do it just for that reason, Calvin. Personally, I don't think it's gonna work.
No, why not?
Look, Raven is one mean lady, but she is not stupid. Even if they succeed in fooling her, which is doubtful, it doesn't mean she's going to change her mind about giving back the theater.
Yeah, well, it just may teach her a good lesson anyway. I mean, she may find out that she can be the victim of a charade just as easily as you were.
I admit that thought appeals to me.
The thought of teaching Raven Whitney a lesson appeals to me a great deal. I mean, she's made a lot of people squirm in this town, and I really think I'm going to enjoy watching her squirm just a little.
I don't know. Seems like a rough way to go about it. Maybe there's something we should try first. Or rather, maybe I should try.
Yeah, like what?
Well, before you guys get this thing going, maybe I should try once more to change Raven's mind.
Are you some kind of a masochist or something? She gave you her definite and final no the same day she threw you out of the theater.
But she built up a head of steam. Maybe I can talk to her calmly. Well, reasonably.
Oh, sure.
There's got to be some corner of her that still listens.
Yeah, well, if you say so, pal. But as far as I'm concerned, you are a glutton for punishment.
Hey, you know, this second-hand furniture worked out terrific, huh? It's perfect.
Yeah, I know. It's all beat up. Gorgeous. Absolutely gorgeous. Maybe we ought to wash the windows. What do you think?
I kind of like them looking grimy like that. It's a nice effect. We could put up some shades or maybe some
that's
draperies.
a good idea. That's a good idea.
Hey, you know what we need?
What?
A flag. That's it. Yeah. A flag would really make it authentic. It'd add a nice patriotic note. We need a flag, a nice big Mongolian flag.
Okay, you got your one Mongolian flag. Johnny.
You know something, guys? If this thing doesn't work out, you can always open up a little house cleaning service.
Gee, you're funny. And if you don't have any more jokes for us, Johnny, why don't you pick up that broom and you can help us clean this place up?
What?
You heard me.
Whoa, whoa, whoa. Lance Holiday, international playboy, sweeping up a floor? I think that's way out of character, Hector.
We know how you feel about Wheat's Worth crackers.
That great Wheat's Worth taste is written all over your face.
Think light and crackling crisp. Imagine a touch of honey and sesame. Can't you just taste it?
That great Wheat's Worth taste.
How great does a Wheat's Worth taste? Ask Adam.
It's written all over your face.
From Nabisco.
Hello, I'm Senator John Glenn. Sergeant Cousins and I have been talking about the increasing importance of a high school education. It's a fact that competition for jobs and career opportunities is getting tougher and tougher. And without a high school education, you lessen your chances of making something out of your life.
To prove a point, last year, 4 out of 5 new Marines were high school graduates. Your diploma helps open the door and increases your chances of success.
Finish what you start. Stay in school and earn your high school diploma.
You know, Johnny, let me tell you something now. Just sit down there. When an actor begins to really believe he's the part he's playing, he's in big trouble, you know? Huh? So what do you say, Lance, baby? Why don't you pick up that broom and help us put this place in shape?
Hector, I'm a very delicate man, and besides, you wouldn't want me to play this part with dirty hands.
That's
now,
right,
would you?
Hector. Hector, come on, huh? We got to keep Johnny in character for this role. Unless it succeeds, unless Raven really goes crazy over him, this whole thing falls apart.
That's right.
We got to keep. He's got to be suave and debonair and charming. He's got to smell good. We can't have him pushing a broom around here. The one thing we don't want is for him to get next to Raven Whitney, have her look at him and smell him and say, "Oh, you've been pushing a broom around somewhere."
Hector just hates playing a supporting role, that's all.
Ah, you two-bit Casanova.
Hey, come on. So we got work to do, you guys.
Yeah.
Pushing a broom around.
Where'd you guys pick up this place anyways? Where'd you find it?
I got a connection with the police department. What they don't know is I had the key duplicated.
Yeah, that worries me. I don't want any cops involved in this enterprise.
Excuse me, Johnny. There is a cop involved. What? Calvin Stoner.
What's he gonna do?
He's gonna make the call on Raven, huh? After the unfortunate death of your jealous wife.
Ah, so he's going to arrest her and bring her here to this place.
Yeah, that's why we have to have it authentic, huh? Nothing's not as real as the authentic thing, right?
Hey, Lance, baby.
Yeah.
When do you plan on seeing Raven again?
I thought I'd give her a call tonight.
Good. Tonight? Well, what are you doing here? Why don't you find a phone somewhere and do it right now? Right now.
Good idea. Phone. Phone.
Oh, I forgot to tell you. I brought you a present from the Caribbean. It's upstairs.
Oh, isn't that nice? What is it?
A shrunken head.
I can hardly wait.
I'm just kidding. I brought you a bottle of perfume. It's wonderful. It's called Jungle Paradise.
Oh, how lovely. Maybe it'll change my image.
What are we going to do for dinner tonight? The cook doesn't come till tomorrow. Maybe we can go out?
Well, I don't know, dear. I'm not very hungry. Why don't you order something in?
There's a call for you, Mrs. Whitney, and Mr. Halliday.
Oh, thanks, Nora. Hello? Oh, hello.
Hello, lovely. How are you?
Just fine. How are you?
I'm okay, but I'd be much better if I could see you tonight. What are chances like?
Well, I just might be able to do something for you. You called it a perfect time.
Really?
Mm-hmm. Why don't you take me to dinner tonight?
I'd love nothing more. How about if I stop by in about half hour?
Make it an hour. I want to freshen up a little.
financial director of the Gilbert family. My job's to stop our money from going down the drain. Not easy, because I want what's right for my family. And that means new cushion-quilted Pampers for Jenny. Oh, I tried those so-called bargain brands, and you know what? They're no bargain. Pampers keeps my Jenny a lot drier. And dryness is what I want for my baby.
Look, Weta Pampers and the average bargain brand. Now wait. Slip in a blotter. Pampers cushion-quilted lining helps keep babies a lot drier.
Here's our bathing beauty.
Hand me her diaper.
Cushion-quilted Pampers.
She loves their dryness.
New cushion-quilted Pampers keep a little baby a lot drier.
Gee, Ma, could you give us a lift? You missed the bus. You walk to school. Oh, I wouldn't mind driving them, but they've got to be responsible. For me, anything less isn't enough. Look, I feel responsible for the things I buy, which is why I choose White Cloud. Of all bathroom tissues, White Cloud is the softest, and anything less isn't enough. Besides, each sheet of White Cloud is actually 2 fluffy sheets, and it's the most absorbent. And getting anything less than the most absorbent isn't enough.
Mom, can I go out and play?
Put on a sweater and I'll go out with you. Being responsible. That's why I buy 2-ply White Cloud. It's the softest and most absorbent, and anything less isn't enough.
Your gall absolutely amazes me. Took a lot of nerve of you. Come here without an invitation.
I came here without one because I knew none would ever be offered.
Well, you're absolutely right. So why don't you get out of my house?
For heaven's sake, Raven, the least you can do is give this young man the courtesy of hearing what he has to say.
Courtesy? No. He has no right to be here. He belongs in prison. That's where he belongs.
I thank you for your courtesy, Mrs. Saxon. I won't stay long. I simply came to say one thing, Raven.
Well, then say it and get out.
I know you changed your mind about letting the maskers use the Whitney Theater because of my involvement. I'm sorry about that. Someone should have told you beforehand.
Well, at least we agree on one thing.
I just want you to know that I will no longer be involved with the company if you let them use the Whitney Theater again.
Well, my. What an impressive sacrifice. But forget it. Because I don't trust you. And I certainly would never trust a bunch of actors. You'd probably rehearse the thing in the studio, say it was a theater, and I'd never know the difference.
I wouldn't do such a thing. I'll withdraw completely.
I don't believe you. Because you lied about my husband.
I didn't lie. I was set up by Sky, and that's a fact that everyone else realizes except for you.
How dare you say that to me?
I dare because I was fooled into firing that gun at Gunther. Gunther thought it was a practical joke. He knew it was loaded with blanks because he's the one who bought him and put him in the gun himself. What he didn't know is that your husband switched the blanks for real bullets and killed him with that gun.
Out.
Now that's the fact, whether you like it or not.
I said get out!
There is too much at stake here for you to throw it all down the drain at once. All I'm asking for is some discretion until we can work this thing out logically.
Discretion? You're talking about discretion. I'm talking about...
Please! It's been 3 years since your plane went down in the Alps, Schuyler. In that time, there was another Schuyler Whitney who took over your life. He looked like you, he acted like you, and when he came back to this country, he even lived like you.
What are we going over all this ground for again, Spencer? The point is he wasn't Schuyler Whitney. The real Sky was in a hospital, unidentified.
3 long years, Spencer. I want them back.
We can't get them back for you, Sky. But now that you're well enough...
Now that I'm well enough to speak, nobody believes me. Nobody but you, Libby. You're the only one in the whole world who believes I'm telling the truth.
Sky, I'm sure that Spencer...
Oh, yes. What about you, Mr. Varney? Do you have doubts?
No, I believe you.
Well, that makes 3 of us then.
But that still doesn't clear up the one thing we need to know. Who is the man who looks like you? Who is the man who stole your identity?
And above all, how did he get away with it?
Well, you have to admit he was brazen. Think about it, 3 years. Every day he must have lived in fear. Fear that he'd make a mistake, fear that he'd be discovered. He must have been a consummate actor. Come on, what was he like, Spencer? You knew him. Tell me, I gotta know.
He was like you, but only in looks. I could never tell what he was about. He was always so secretive, so covered. I suppose you could say on the surface he was charming, cordial, but I always had a feeling that underneath somewhere that he would erupt, break into a rage.
Well, just tell me, how are we going to get at the truth?
I don't know yet.
But he is dead and buried. I saw him lying in that coffin myself. It was so strange to see him in that funeral parlor. He wasn't just similar to you, Skye. He was an absolute replica. It frightened me.
And since you have absolutely no identification except for your face, how do we prove your right to the Whitney estate?
How about my Aunt Geraldine?
No, she'd already accepted the other man as her nephew. She'd only regard you as an imposter.
Well, I am not the fake. He was. And that's why I want to meet this woman who claims to be his widow.
But she may not even know it herself, Skye. That's the problem.
Now look at it this way. Shock tactics may very well put Raven Whitney on her guard. That's why you must wait. Please.
Are those new teeth keeping you awake again tonight? Oh, Mommy has the Ambisol. We'll just massage some right where it hurts. Oh, you're such a little trooper.
Look, when nerve endings are irritated, Ambisol works on contact to soothe sore gums, stop minor teething pain for hours.
Ambisol worked fast, didn't it?
Ambisol, liquid or gel, stops teething pain on contact.
Nighty-night.
The year 2081, and Wendy Mead is having company.
Rodney, set the table. I'll dial chicken a la Wendy. And now, for a beautiful shine on this kitchen floor.
Your robot again?
Nope, my Mop and Glow.
Mop and Glow.
Mop and Glow. There's no quicker, easier way.
For regular or no wax floors, Mop and Glow cleans and shines at the same time.
Beautiful. And it was so easy.
Honey, Mop and Glow is still the easy way to a beautiful floor.
It's Saturday night!
Still the cleverest species of them all.
The Coneheads consume mass quantities tonight at 11.
Let me see now. If I take this wire over here and splice it onto that... no, I can't do that. Oh, let's see. Okay, darn it.
What are you mumbling about?
Oh, I'm trying to figure out a way I can hook up the wiring so that we can get some power in here without the electric company catching on, you know?
I guess we'll have to rely on your genius, Igor. You look like Igor. I bet you could do it. I bet you could. Igor.
No thanks, no thanks.
What are you worried about? You'll fix it just like you fixed the phone.
Oh, yeah, well, the incoming calls are pretty good, but the outgoing, that's a little bit tougher. Oh, that's what I can do. Good, good. You about finished?
Yeah, throw this stuff away. Hey, look.
What?
Raven Whitney. Front page. Boy, she sure is a good-looking woman. Huh. No wonder Johnny's so happy. He never had such a good-looking, rich widow on the hook. Yeah, pictured above left. Mrs. Schuyler Whitney attending the funeral of her husband, accompanied by his aunt, Aunt Geraldine Whitney Saxon. I don't believe it.
What?
I don't believe it.
What, are you serious?
Geraldine Saxon. What? That's the rich widow we set Johnny up with to get the money from.
Yeah, but what's
Raven Whitney and Geraldine Saxon have been living together in the same house. Same house?
May I help you?
Hi, is Raven ready?
Well, it's calling.
want you to meet someone. Geraldine, this is Lance Halliday. This is Geraldine Saxon. What's the matter?
Lance Halliday? Don't be ridiculous, my dear. I know this young man. His name is Johnny Gentry.
Morning. Everybody thinking chicken? Chicken? To make great chicken, Kentucky Fried Chicken, we have to forget everything else, right, Melissa?
Right.
Those people out there expect the best.
Tender.
Juicy.
Fresh.
Chicken. That's what makes us special. Can anyone else do it the Colonel's way? No one. We keep doing chicken like this, they're not gonna like us.
No?
They're gonna love us.
Kentucky Fried Chicken, we do chicken right.
But what if I don't like it?
Her first day of school.
I think you're going to like it.
You do what you can to reassure her.
You're going to make a lot of new friends.
You give her lots of love, the best advice, and the orange juice you choose is Minute Maid.
About the law, in English or Spanish. It refers you to further help, and it's confidential. Call Dial Law at 568-5900.
From the motion picture prairies of Hollywood's greatest studios come Channel 48's Late Movie, tonight at midnight. These are the films that feature the world's finest stars in the roles that made them famous. Be in the audience for the best late-night talk in town. John Carradine stars in Hitler's Madman, tonight at midnight.